Blessed morning, blessed morning, blessed morning. I welcome the family. Thank you very much, family, for joining us on the show. Welcome to Live with Chatufa. We are alive. We are still in one piece and kicking. All glory to the God that we serve, God Almighty of the heavens. I want to say good morning to you, family, the Blue family. I'm just saying greetings and I'm sending all my love to you wherever you are watching us from all the four corners of the world. We are seeing greetings, greetings, greetings. Continue to show to share the gospel of the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. We are getting there. We are getting there. We are getting there. And every day we are approaching the freedom that we have awaited for a very, very long time. I want to appreciate all those that have just joined us in the show. Thank you very much. I see many names are already in here. And with Laita Kololo being the very first one in the show, I can see Gogo Guvea is also here, and many others. Vanago Gove, Seve, Shanduko, we greet you. We love you. May you continue to be protected until you shall see with your own eyes the goodness of the Lord in the new great Zimbabwe. So thank you for joining us in the show. And I just want to welcome everyone else who is joining us. If you are here for the very first time on Live with Chatufa, please join this family by also subscribing to the show. Just subscribe to this channel and hit the bell also, that you can also be getting every reminder or every notification of shows that are coming, especially on this channel. So greetings to you. As always, we are not a news channel. We are an intercessory channel. This is an intercessory channel, a channel of intercessors that are praying for the nation of Zimbabwe, intercessors that are standing and believing God for what he has to do in this season. So this is why at times when we discuss issues that we discuss here, it is because we know that we are in prayer over those issues. That's why we bring them. So they are never late, they are never stale. We don't have stale because it's not news, right? Thank you very much. So what are we talking about today? We are looking at the issue of the ZANU-PF government and how they have threatened the nurses. Nurses are supposed to be going for a strike, a nationwide strike that they planned. But we see now the ZANU-PF government coming in to threaten them. And we are looking at it and saying, you see, like, really, how can these guys be threatening the nurses? I just want us to look at the article that has this story where nurses are being threatened by the minister, and for some reason, they are attaching some political sentiments to it. Right, from the 26chat.com, we just want to acknowledge them and sharing this chat that they've shown on their page, and it's saying about the intended health workers strike. We understand they wanted to start today, which is Wednesday, but I don't think any well-meaning Zimbabwean will do that. Those who want to engage in industrial action have other motives other than not serving their country's health services. And I don't know why this note is here. I think this English is wrong from this minister. I don't know. For those that know English, I don't know whether that note must be there. Those who want to engage in industrial action have other motives other than not serving again. Because when you say other than, this is negative. You cannot have not again as another negative in the same sentence. I don't know, for those that know English. So this is the minister, and he's now, putting some other notion to this nationwide strike that nurses are planning on because of their situation. Indeed, nurses are incapacitated, and not only nurses, all civil servants, every worker in Zimbabwe is really having a very torrid time. Life in Zimbabwe is unbearable. And I'm telling you, it is so sad. Before we can enter into the discussion, I just want to hear what people are saying here. So Tempo says, yes, the motive is to be able to put food on the table. Yes. Tendai says someone with money in their pocket. And Rodney says, is he a doctor? And King is saying, honestly, this government consists of pure devils. Our lives are in danger under these satanists. Definitely. This is what we are always even saying on this show. We are always saying the country is under witchcraft. The country is under witchcraft, and it's not a joke. When we are saying this is not a joke, family, the country is under the spell of witches and wizards. And this is why you are seeing this thing happening. Remember last time in the show, we were talking also about the nurses, that nurses are getting 300 US dollars. After the 300 US dollars, you realize that Mthuli Ncube has raised taxes again. And when he raised the taxes, after he implements his taxation, the whole 100 is going away. And nurses are remaining with $200. Just $200. Imagine. $200. What can you do with $200? And look at the expense of food, look at the expense of accommodation, look at the expense of fuel for those that have cars. What about maintenance of cars for those that have cars? What about school fees? It's unbearable that you find that a school is charging 600 US dollars in a term for a teacher who is earning, or a nurse who is earning $200. Just imagine, that nurse has not yet removed the rental money, the transport money, the food money in the home, or the food at work. You know, children also will need to carry food to school. All that is not considered. And a school is charging $600. You remember that school where that police officer ended up unleashing a dog that beat a school child? It was because school fees had been raised to alarming levels. And this evil government is watching all these things happen. There was never a comment from the Minister of Education. There was never a comment from the Minister of Education of that child who was beaten by the dog. And it seems like there is no one who is responsible for things that are happening. And the police says they are investigating. What do you need to investigate? Do you really need to investigate a situation that is just clear like that? A police officer unleashes a dog, it bites a child at a peaceful demonstration at school, and you are saying you are investigating what? And fine, right. What about up to now? What have you found? That was the end of it. And this is the government that we have. And I'm telling you, many people are going to pay for these sins. Come the new great Zimbabwe, we are not forgetting. We are writing down. Right now, there are police officers that beat a man in town. I think it's a day or so ago. A man was beaten and was injured seriously. They ended up carrying him away from the crowd because they saw that he was seriously bleeding from the head. When the police officers lifted him, blood was oozing from his head. Blood was oozing like it's a tap of water. Just imagine. And they just threw him behind in that car of theirs, in the pickup truck, and then they drove off, just taking him away from the eyes of the people, because people were screaming already that you have killed this individual. So we don't even know what is happening. And one thing that I want to say is, citizens, get names of these people. We need whoever is doing whatever that they are doing, all these atrocities, all these people that are abusing and victimizing citizens, just get their names. We want their names. We would want to open up issues, cases, when the new Great Zimbabwe comes and the normalcy comes back to the country. So this is what it is. How can you be threatening nurses and you are telling nurses that you have other motives that you have? What motives are you talking about? What motives? People are telling you, why not exchange? And that minister may just also get 200 per month for 1 month, so he can test what it means to have $200. You see, there's no empathy whatsoever. There's no sympathy with this government. And I don't know whether we should really be calling it a government anyway. This is not a government. It's far from being a government. Professional people like nurses, just go to the neighboring countries, just get into Zambia, go into South Africa, go into Botswana, and just check the status of a nurse. Nurses they have beautiful houses, their own houses, personal houses. They also have beautiful houses that are given by government. Nurses drive 3 beautiful cars. I'm not talking about the Hong Kong cars, the Honda Fit or what. I'm talking about real cars that they drive. And you know, it's sad to see the situation that we have in our own country. You can't tell the difference between a real professional registered nurse and a nurse aide, because they are just suffering the same way, and you can't see the difference. We should not be having such professional people, you know, being squeezed. Imagine the nurse will be putting on their white uniforms and they are there on the squeezing and shoving, trying to get in a zupko. Guys, Guys, a doctor with a stethoscope in his around his neck, and he's also, shoving and to get into a Zupco, Zimbabwe. Cry, my beloved country. What is this? The status of a medical doctor. My God. And this is all the doing of ZANU-PF. People are just, life is just going, because days will not wait. Days will come and go. And we are getting older by every minute and by every day that comes and passes. And ZANU-PF is still there, and they are even trying to amend the constitution. They want to go on until they don't even know till when. They are not even minding that they are very close to their grave, but they would rather amend a constitution. Emerson Mnangagwa wants to amend a constitution and they be there for more than 15 years. Yet he doesn't even remember that he can't live for 15 years. Just add 87 plus 15. How old will he be? Definitely he's not getting there. He can't get there. If he can just get to 90, just 3 years left, it will be a miracle. But somebody like that is making life difficult for people that are 28, 30, the youth. He would rather destroy everything for the sake of the 3 years that he's still supposed to be living on earth. What a selfish lot. What a generation of old madalas who don't feel for the young generation. If the people that were before them had done that to them, were they going to be here today? Even if they complain about the white regime, the Smith regime, and what, but people were going to school. People were drinking milk at school. People could buy houses. People could get loans from banks. Yes, of course, there was oppression and what, but life was good. Generally, the living standard was not as bad as things are right now in Zimbabwe. And this is the Zimbabwe that we call our home. How can you be threatening nurses instead of sitting down with the nurses and finding out what really is happening, considering the money that these guys are stealing? They are stealing so much, so much. You see, nickel is being stolen, chrome is being stolen, gold is being stolen, whatever mineral that you talk about in Zimbabwe, it's not going to the nation, it's not benefiting the masses of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is able to pay nurses right now, as I'm speaking, a salary of even 1,500 US dollars. It's possible to do that. And all civil servants, all professional civil servants can be paid that amount because the money is there. But the money is being looted. ZANU-PF is looting money that, you see, by the time that these guys are gone and then the records of what they are doing right now will start to be exposed, we are going to be shocked. We are going to be shocked that Zimbabwe is losing billions in months. In a couple of months, Zimbabwe is losing into billions of US dollars. The deals that these guys are doing are entering into hundreds of millions in days. I'm telling you. And you wonder how many stomachs somebody has, how many beds somebody can sleep in, and how many houses you can sleep in at one go. You amass wealth and money to the point that you don't even know what to do about it. And they think that their safety is in money. Money cannot give you safety. Money cannot even give you peace. Money can't even buy life. If money could buy life, people like Michael Jackson shouldn't have died. So money is just a commodity of exchange, something that you find on earth and you live on earth. You can amass it as much as you want to the point that you amass it like a fool, but it will not give you an extension of life. If you are supposed to be just dying next year, you simply die. Money will never care about it. It will just remain here because it is a thing of this earth. But ZANU-PF, they think that the moment they have, the longer they are going to live. No, it's not. It's a lie. You're just lying to yourself. And the money is so stubborn to the point that having it today does not necessarily mean that you will have it forever. You can have 15 billion today as an individual, and you can, the next month, you can be very, very broke. You don't even have a cent. How many billionaires have signed in for bankruptcy? How many in the whole world? How many companies, multi-million, billion companies that have signed in for bankruptcy? And they will tell you that we don't have even anything. Banks will have to come and attach their properties. So it's just a self-deception that these ZANU-PF thugs and hooligans are just doing here. So what we are saying is you cannot continue to threaten nurses. Nurses have a right to get salaries, and teachers, and all civil servants, all government workers, and every other worker. They have a right to get a salary that is able to sustain them, sustain their families. You give somebody a salary that even yourself, when you calculate it, you can see that it's not enough even just for transport and lunch for that person for the whole month. So what are you doing? A whole minister would want to go on a press conference to threaten people that he knows that you can't even sit down with those people and they'd say, okay, can you help me do the budget, Mr. Minister? Take a pen and paper. Here am I. I'm a registered nurse. My take home is $200. Can you please just work out for me? Ask how much a room is in Kwanzan. Just one single room for rent. If it is $70 a room or $60 a room, they're subtracted from 200, say, and I remain with 130. From the 130, just go into okay and buy food. That will be enough for me and my 3 children. And then bring it here. Just start with minimum, the basics, not the luxury, just the basics. Just buy me 2 kgs of sugar, and that's 2 kgs of sugar is already taking $50 already. And then how much is left, Mr. Minister? Can he do that? Can he safely sit down with these nurses and help go on a chalkboard and on a whiteboard and calculate how much these people need to just survive just a day? He can never do that. Instead, what ZANU-PF does is they look aside, they pretend as if they don't know, they pretend as if they are living in their own world somewhere, which is not Zimbabwe, when they are messing up with the economy and things are getting bad, but still they want to expect the civil servants and the workers to survive in that economy which has collapsed without them even doing a little bit to augment their situation. And they expect people to live. How? This is what has caused corruption. Because just ask yourself, how are these people surviving? How is this person being able to go to work every day for the number of days that this person is supposed to be? Monday to Friday times 4. If it is 5 days times 4, 20 days. For 20 days, this person is paying maybe $1 to go to town, $1 back, $2 times 20. How much is that? Just transport only. So how are they living? This is why corruption now has grown deep roots in Zimbabwe, because whoever is working where there is money, whoever is working where they can manipulate the system to their advantage, they are doing it because they have to survive. That's why there is corruption everywhere. You go to the passport office, you go to the where you want to take your ID, there is a corruption. You go every corner, there is corruption. What can people do? People need to survive. What can you do with $200 in a month? How do you survive if $200 is just enough for the combi? What about the rent? What about the children? What about the food? What about all other expenses? And there is a government, a whole minister standing up with a big stomach full of food and is threatening with unspecified action nurses who are trying to express their grievances when they have a right constitutionally to demonstrate and express their dissatisfaction with the government. And we have a government that in return, it comes with threats. And instead, they want to turn the story from being a story of people that are hungry, that are saying we can't afford to live with our families on a meager salary of 200. And they are saying you have got other political agendas. All they want to rush to is to say you want to remove Mnangagwa. But they don't want to face the reality of saying, guys, these people are starving. People are failing to survive. How do you expect? Why don't you try it yourself to see if you can have a budget of 200 and you run? You can't even pour 200 in your car. You can't even pour 200 in your car. But you expect a whole family of 6 to survive on 200. It is so sad, and this is the country that we are crying for, and this is the country that we are facing. And this is the country that we are saying, a country that is careless, that has no heart, that has no love, that has no empathy, and government that does not have people at heart. Can we really say we have a government? This is no government at all. We just have witches in places of government. We just have Satanists in places of government. We just have people who are heartless, who have no hearts in their chests, sitting in positions of authority. And yet, the government that is supposed to be there must be a government that is there to serve the people. Like all other nations, like all other neighboring nations that are around us, their governments are there to address issues that are pertaining to the people. Just look at this. When did Emerson Mnangagwa ever address the nation again? A whole president who does not even talk to the nation. He does not even address the nation. What has he to say? What can he address the nation talking about? He has nothing to say. No achievement, no goals, no objectives, no nothing. All that he's just doing is pocketing money and just finding where else is money coming from. Where is my portion? Where is my cut on all the cartels that are stealing money in their ways? He's just asking, where is my percentage? Where is my percentage? And he's stuffing them in bags and maybe flying them out, those bags out of the country to Dubai or to Belarus. That is all that he's doing. A thief of a president. And what can happen? And what do you expect of the ministers? What do you expect of the permanent secretaries? What do you expect of the other top civil servants? What do you expect of anybody who is sitting where money is flowing? This is exactly what is happening in our nation. Yesterday, we were talking about them already, digging up the roads in Harare. So anything that you see ZANU-PF, when you see ZANU-PF trying to do something that they want to pretend to look like holy, they do some holy actions for the sake of the demons. They are digging those tarred roads not for the good of the people. There's already a scheme of stealing money there. Somebody has gotten that tender, and check, it is going to be a Mnangagwa family or ally digging up an existing road that is still fine, that just needs some touch-ups, and yet there are roads that have potholes. That even a whole half of the wheel of a car can go in deep there. What kind of a country is this? What kind of a government is this? What kind of a leadership is this? Can we really say we have a leadership in the country? Can we really say the country is getting anywhere? Can they really stand and talk to people and say we are having a vision of 2030? 2030 when things are like this. You send police to beat professional nurses. Police, when they get sick or they are injured, those police guys, who attends them? Are they not attended by the nurses in the hospitals? But you send those police who are not even police. We know that those are ZANU-PF youths that are being given uniforms to go and beat up professional nurses with baton sticks, mothers for that matter, other people's wives. And yet your wives are there sitting in comfort. You are beating some other people's wives. And you think God is just going to watch this? And you think God is going to smile at ZANU-PF and they can extend the constitution and Mnangagwa can rule as much as he wants and he can hand over to his dynasty children and rule again while the people of Zimbabwe are suffering like this? It is not going to happen. God is never going to allow the situation of Zimbabwe to proceed like this. The unfairness and the suffering and the man-made crisis that we see in Zimbabwe today, manufactured by men, for us, and the freedom of the Zimbabwean people is here. And we as the intercessors, our duty is to make sure that we get this fulfilled. What God has started already, going to tire, we will stand up, we will rise to our feet, declare the living word of God, and make sure that God's will for the Zimbabwean people, it shall come to pass in this season. This is our season for change. No other ways, no left, no right, straight ahead. It is our season for change, and God is in it, and we are definitely going to see things happening according to the will of God. I'm just going to get a few comments before we can round up. I want to hear if there are people that have spoken about what we are talking about here. Gogo Ncube, how are you? Good morning. She says that's why nurses are kubuda nokuti vakachema kuti mari haikwani unorohwa, saka isu ndisu tichashaya manesi muno. Manesi haaite politics, they support the government in power. So chii chakadaro? Yes, No, we are just having a government that is not a government. We are just having a mafia that is masquerading as a government in the nation. That is our problem. The time is ticking. We have suffered enough. Yes, definitely. God is in it. God is in it. God is in it. KT Mugwede says, morning, family and friends around the globe. Change is coming and God is in it. Definitely. Thank you very much. Lois Majinto says, very true. Say it louder. Thank you very much for your comment. And we are seeing many other family members that are passing their greetings. My sister Sandra Makuran, good morning to you also. She's saying good morning, Chatufa family. Thank you very much for being here. Sekai Mondoro says, good morning, family. Yes, thank you very much for greeting us. We're blessed. We are here. My sister Mary Maindesa, how are you? May the Lord continue to bless you. By the way, you are in Cape Town, yeah? How is Cape Town? I hope you are good there in Cape Town. Continue to be protected. My sister Lorraine, how are you? Good morning to you also. Good morning to the family, and the family is good. God is on our side. God is protecting us. Nessa Caetano is also greeting. So, family, this is the story that we were having today. We are seeing the evil of ZANU-PF and how they want to enjoy seeing, the suffering of the Zimbabwean people. But God is in it. We are in prayer. Change is coming, and definitely the freedom of the Zimbabwean people is coming. So we shall be meeting again with another story that is just forthcoming. Just continue watching your space on YouTube. You will see the banners coming in with the different issues and stories that we are going to be carrying on today. We have many issues to discuss today, both on live with Chatufa and on the main channel, Chatufa Television Production. So stay in touch. We are going to be coming soon with the next story that we are going to be talking. Remain standing, remain in prayer. God is in it. Change is coming. You are blessed, family. Shalom. Till we meet again, I sign out.